Hello, my name is Kerry Arth, and today we are going to have a little intervention for our pals at Games Workshop, specifically when it comes to designing certain aspects of new releases. So there was an article yesterday that went up on the community site talking about the fact that you'll be able to pre-order Sisters of Battle stuff next week. Well, we didn't cover that yesterday because it's just saying you can pre-order next week. However, there was an aspect to that article. One of the images contained therein, there's the usual things, the collector's edition codex, normal codex, obviously data cards, and dice. Oh yes, gotta have some dice. And these ones are particularly bad. They're not great. They're pretty much useless. And I thought to myself, you know what? Are they actually getting worse? Is this something that needs to be addressed? Is this something that is annoying enough to warrant even talking about? And I came to the conclusion, yes, it is. And then I did some Googling, because I was like, I'm pretty sure that they've done worse dice than this, but these are particularly bad examples. And oh dear God, it's so much worse than I remember. Some of the dice I just flat out erased from my memory. And so we're going to have a little chat. We're going to have a little chat right now, Games Workshop. Stop making terrible dice. Stop it. Just don't. You can make unique faction dice without having to completely rewrite the rulebook as to how dice work. Dice have fairly uniform designs, and that is because, generally speaking, we have come across two very efficient methods for making dice readable. And that is to stick a number of dots on the side of said dice, or to just stick a number on the side of said dice. What you're doing is taking that principle and essentially messing it up so badly that I cannot understand why you would ever want to use these. These are the Sisters of Battle dice, and they're supposed to look like stained glass windows, and it's a good job they look like something, because they don't look like bloody dice to me. This is yet another example of completely over-designing and changing something that does not need to be changed. You want to make unique faction dice, make them readable, and then make the 6 the faction logo. Done. I've done make them different colours, sure, go for it. Knock yourself out with different colours, but what the hell even is this? This is just a static image. This is just a picture of the dice. With staring at it for a couple of seconds, you're like, okay, so we've got the 1, the 2, okay, we can see that. But still, you use those in a normal game, you're going to have a real bad time, because the second they scatter across the board, you're going to be sat there going, okay, let me just get a bit get a bit closer. Bear in mind, this is a whacking great image. This is a massive picture. It's taking up most of the screen. The dice are not that big, so they're not that clear. They're the size of normal dice, which means that all the little fleur-de-lis detail and stuff, it's going to be way harder to see. It's also going to look significantly more blobby as well, because they'll be tiny. So they'll just like weird blobs, not actual detailed pictures. And I thought to myself, okay, well, these are particularly bad, but am I being unfair? Am I misremembering? Are the others, as bad as this? There's some real god-awful dice that they've done, and these, it just gets worse. I mean, we all remember the Sylvaneth dice. Like, that is a terrible design. It has not aged well. It was shit to start with, and it's still crap now. The colours don't work properly, like some of the dark green is really hard to actually read on the brown surface of the dice. The method by which you tell what the number is absolutely ludicrous. It doesn't make any sense. The Sylvaneth dice are some of the worst they've ever made. In fact, I think they might still be the worst. These are bad, don't get me wrong, but they're not quite that bad. They're not quite that awful. Although they're honestly kind of close. But the thing is, it's not even those. It's not even those. I'd forgotten about these things. Again, you've got the principle there for what makes a decent dice set. Something that is clear and easy to read on each side, except you've done it with weird wavy lines and replaced... I'm assuming the 1 is the skull and the 6 is the weird symbol. But I could be totally wrong. And the way that the dice are actually in that package, hilariously, it's swapped round, so that's pretty funny. I don't know why they did that, or how they did that, to be honest. Like, every single part of where those dice are does not match the outside of the... Again, it turns out, no, there are quite a few that are just as bad that I had forgotten. These bloody Beastmen dice. again, what is even anything on these? Is it is the dot with the circle with the spikes a 3? I'm assuming that's a 3, and then the circle with the 2 spikes is the 2. It doesn't show what the 4 is. I'm assuming the 4 is 4 spikes, and then the 5 is 4 spikes, and a dot in the middle. Why? You shouldn't have to sit there and go, I am assuming, I'm guessing that this is it. That's not something you should have to do with bloody dice. And then, the one that really, really, I'd totally forgotten about. And shout out to Barrel Drill, by the way, for this for these images. They're the ones who had the clearest pictures. That is just god-awful. Look at the state of it. Look at it. How the fuck are you supposed to read that? It is an actual habit. They've developed a habit of making terrible dice, and you don't need to. This is the thing that gets me with this stuff, right? These are they're collectory things. I know that. Not everyone's going to buy them. Probably hardly anyone's going to buy them. But, well, actually, no, that's not fair. This is about loads of people who buy those. I know the Sylvaneth ones did not exactly vanish overnight, shockingly. These will probably do a lot better. But, when it comes to collector's edition stuff, I can understand the collector's edition codex being something that people will store away. The thing is, you can still use it. It's still a functional codex. It's just a nice codex with a nice cover. That's all it is. Dice are not quite the same in terms of display pieces. They're not quite the same in terms of keeping them wrapped up tight and making sure no damage comes to them. They're not like... I wouldn't put Games Workshop's faction release dice in the same vein as, say, the faction release codexes. You know, you could probably stick a codex on eBay 5-10 years after it came out, and if it's still sealed, it would get a decent price. I don't think the same can be said for dice. They're not quite the same points of pride and display sort of jobs, as far as I know, anyway. So really, what you're looking at is just something that isn't functional. It's a collector's item that can't be used with the other stuff you get with your collector's item stuff. It's a product that is supposed to be something to do with the thing that you've bought, that is supposed to be used with the army that you're invested in, and instead it's not usable at all. And the only thing you can really do with them, unless you're prepared to piss off everybody you play against, is have them sit in their little box on a shelf somewhere where you can't see them properly anyway, because the plastic is over the front of it, which makes them all wibbly and weird. And if you do ever break them out, you're going to have to sit there and think for a second. Now, the fleur-de-lis is, the big one is the 6, not the 1. That's how it works, yeah. So 1 fleur-de-lis is 6, 2 is 2, up to 5, but then 1 is a skull. So you kind of count up in the number of fleur-de-lis there are from 2 to 5, but 1 is not one of those. 1 is a skull, and 6 is one of those. Stop it. Just stop. Don't do it. Make the dice 1 through 5, normal, standard, normal. Just do it so you just have to count them. That's all you have to do. There's no weird designs, there's no flipping it round, there's no weird circles, or plants, or fucking arrows, or any of that shit. Just make it 1 to 5 on the dice, make them whatever you colour you like, whatever you fancy, and then put the faction logo as the 6. Do that. Don't do a Gene Stealer Cults thing either, and put the faction logo as a 1, because that just makes it seem like the faction sucks. Why would you even do that? You had the right idea with the Gene Stealer ones, because it was 1 through 5. Admittedly, 2 through 6. Why they put the logo as the 1, I don't know. Admittedly, they did put it white dots on a purple and white sort of planet logo thing, which actually wasn't all that helpful. But still, the idea was there. The idea was close. If you think to yourself, what if it was leaves? Don't do leaves. Don't do that. If you think to yourself, what if it was like teeth for orcs? Did they do that? I don't know. I don't think they did that. Don't do that now I've mentioned it. Jesus. Don't do that either. Don't do the little bits of decoration that you got from Imperial Knights. Don't do that. Just label them clearly and have the faction logo as the 6. And then people can actually use the fucking dice that they buy for their army, instead of having to sit there and go, well, I guess I'm back to using the same ones I've used all the rest of the time because these are unreadable. Stop it. Stop doing it. This is an intervention. We're stepping out. We're saying no. Stop messing it up. Don't be daft. Just stick to basics. Make it nice. Make it simple. Make it easy. No one's sitting there going, man, this codex is great, but I really wish the text was backwards, upside down, and in an unreadable font. That would make it a true collector's item. No one's saying that. No one's looking at, like, special edition boxes, like the Sisters of Battle one, going, you know what, I do like this, but if the art was, like, reversed, so all the colours were, I nearly said inside out, but if all the colours were reversed, and actually all the models were sellotaped to the outside of the box, that would be better. No one's doing that. And no one's doing it for dice either. No one's going, you know what, I really would like these dice, but they're just too readable for me. They're just too usable. We want dice that I can't fucking see what it says. That's what I want. No one's doing that. Stop. Stop it. Leave it alone. Don't touch it. It's like that for a reason. They are made the way they are for a purpose. Stop. Just don't. Because then, when you start fucking around, you end up with this shit. Look at it. Look, it's not a dice. It's... Oh my god. Anyway. That was a massive overreaction to that, but I don't know what it is. It just really annoys me. It just gets my nerves. It's that thing of over-designing stuff. That's what it is. It's the over-design thing. It's bad when it happens to models, and it's bad when it happens to everything else as well. Anyway... Just in case you were wondering, the Sisters of Battle stuff is up for pre-order next week. What the hell? What a ridiculous, not first video after the break, because we had the New Year's Day one. It's fine. I just don't get it. I don't understand why this one aspect is something that is constantly mangled so badly. It's like someone's trying to make things worse, and I don't get it. Don't get the mentality behind it at all. Anyway, that was just literally just a rant. I mean, you may well disagree. That's fine. It's still garbage. It still looks terrible. Actually, that's not fair. They look nice. They're just not usable. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, whatever the fuck that was. Bit of, release a bit of steam. Post-holiday steam release. Let's put it like that. Thank you for watching. Feel free to click all the things. Leave your worst dice in the comments down below. Actually, that's an idea. What is the absolute worst dice set you've seen released ever? It doesn't have to be Games Workshop, just in general. I'd be interested to see if there's anything worse than the Sylvaneth one, but could be. So yeah, thank you for watching. Feel free to click all the things. Affiliate link, all that shit. You know how it works. You can click it and buy stuff, and then I get something, and then you get the stuff you ordered, and it's cheaper than Games Workshop, and some of it goes to charity, and blah, blah, blah. Do it if you like. Don't do it if you don't want to, and I'll see you next time.